2024-2025 Phoenix Suns have had a lot of dialogue and a lot of drama surrounding the team, but one thing is now assured, and that this team needs change. It needs some sort of breakdown, as clearly this team, as it is built together, has not worked with this big three formula and with this second apron. So we're going to be diving in and looking at the potential changes that could be happening to this Phoenix Suns team on the player side, the coaching side, and the front office, as everyone's name is up for grabs in this bin here for the Phoenix Suns as we dive into this next off season. We'll be covering all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I am Bruce Velez, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic, showing your love and support on the channel over this last couple of stretch with the Suns being so disastrous in the second half of the season. You guys have shown out and shown your support, so I'm super, super appreciative of that. But I do want to let you guys know that roughly right around 64% of you guys who watch our videos are not subscribed. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date on everything revolving around this Phoenix Suns team, specifically with the offseason rolling around just the corner, and the Suns being a team that's going to be involved in a lot of drama around the offseason, there's going to be a lot to pick and talk about with this team. So we'll have that all covered for you here on the channel. But without further ado, let's dive in. Let's get into the news at hand, and make sure to grab that snack as we break down the changes that will be coming to this Phoenix Suns roster, as we all know that it is going to happen with this team. They have two more games left on in the season, taking on the San Antonio Spurs and the Sacramento Kings. But with the Suns play-in hopes, playoff hopes kind of dismantled, all really passion with this team from the fan base is basically drained out for these last couple games. I guess wanting to see Colin Gillespie, Ryan Dunn, and Oso Gudaro make some significant impacts as those rookies would be nice to see. And hopefully Colin Gillespie gets that guaranteed deal that he definitely is deserving of with this Phoenix Suns squad at the end of the season. But when looking at this team, the changes that might have to be coming with them in the future, we obviously know that this was the biggest letdown in sports history, as the 2024-2025 Suns have been absolutely disappointing. Not only that, they went on an 8-game losing streak. Obviously, Kevin Durant was injured, but with even bringing Bradley Beal back, they went and continuously lost 8 straight games where they were in a play-in spot to ultimately mathematically eliminate them from any play-in contention. And this is dealing with teams like the Sacramento Kings, who had a little bit of a reshape of their roster with Zach LaVine and still have not been dominant with that big three, still dealing with injuries with Domantas Sabonis. There's also factors in the Dallas Mavericks, a team that passed the Phoenix Suns, in which they were obviously terrible this season. Gutted with injury, just traded away Luka Doncic, their heart and soul, and they still did better than the Suns. How could this even fathomably happen? How could it get to this bad of a point? And that's why all fingers have been started with the finger pointing. We obviously know that the Suns are restricted with a lot of areas in this team being in the second apron, and looking at this offseason and the outlook for this team, it could get better for this squad with obviously waiving contracts in Vasilij Micic and Cody Martin, who drop below that second apron into the first apron. But still, there are going to be problems with roster construction and with this team, because at this very moment, the Phoenix Suns, with three $50 million players, are currently sitting over the second apron, but only have 7 guys currently under roster. That's right, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Royce O'Neal, Kevin Durant, Ryan Dunn, Oso Gudaro, and Grayson Allen are the only 7 players that are listed under contract for next season. And with the Suns already having, a team that isn't cohesively constructed well out there on the court itself, is a major issue. But not only just that, but the fact that the Phoenix Suns have really no way to get out of this situation as well, with having so many big contracts and having to figure out ways to trade specific star players to get 2 or 3 role players to even fill out their roster. And who knows, maybe those role players won't even be the best role players that you could even get. Clearly shows that this team is going to be having some changes with its roster and its core. But not only just its roster and its core with this team, but it's also going to be shaking some things up within the front office and with this team as well. We saw from John Gambadoro that he kind of doubled down on his prediction. We rehashed this in some previous videos. If you want to get more detail on it, go check it out. But he's saying there's a 0% chance that Bradley Beal is on this team next season, regardless of a trade, regardless of a buyout. He will not be in Phoenix. And we've also seen, obviously, the updates revolving around Kevin Durant, as many people have been speculating that obviously he is going to be traded from this squad, as he is obviously on a 1-year deal, and grew some frustrations with Phoenix obviously missing the postseason, but also almost trading him at the trade deadline, in which Brian Windhorst from ESPN kind of let us know that obviously the Suns might have to move Kevin Durant, even if they don't want to, and even if they do so, they might be getting a worse package than they would like to receive in return. And that ultimately answers the question as well with Devin Booker. Is he going to want to stay and push through this rebuild? All signs at the moment as of now is that he is willing to do that and would want to stay with this Phoenix Suns team, and I don't see the Suns moving off of Devin Booker unless he wants to ask out. He wants to be shipped out. But if that's the case, if Devin Booker sees Kevin Durant leave, sees Bradley Beal leave, sees his opportunity window in Phoenix really closing in on him, and realizing, hey, I still want to compete, I still want to win, he could ultimately request a trade and also find himself out of Phoenix, which would leave the Suns with some bare bones scraps and some players that they have to believe in as a young team. Something that the Suns don't want to see. But not only could it be just players, and Devin Booker I don't really see leaving, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Some front office and coaching staff that has kind of put us in this situation could also be under fire as well, as we see from Evan Cedery that obviously after signing an extension in 2022 that James Jones' contract is set to expire this offseason. That means that he could not be brought back, could be let go, and the Suns could get a clean slate with their front office, as we've seen them make some disastrous trades, one being Bradley Beal, one being Toumani Camara and DeAndre, and some people even claiming the Nurkic trade obviously to be a bad one, as well as players in Vasilij Micic and Cody Martin didn't get us over the hump into the playoffs. And all looking back on that, it has put the Suns in this tough position. But not only just that, also head coach Mike Budenholzer. As Budenholzer obviously has seen some other Western Conference coaches ahead of him that have done better in the standings and had longer tenured runs with some playoff teams in Taylor Jenkins and Michael Malone get fired. He says it's been real coaching the Phoenix Suns, but has no job security and has had no conversations with Matt Ishbia if he has to be secured for next season. Obviously, this is a little bit of a tell-telling time. Tell-telling sign, of the Phoenix Suns pursuing in that coaching carousel once again, and still feeling like they still haven't found the coach yet for their star players, as Budenholzer has done terrible with the rotations, but not only just that, has not given some great press conference responses, and also hasn't had the best relations with star player Devin Booker and player Yusuf Nurkic, who was traded throughout the season. So with all of that kind of being pointed on this Suns team, you kind of look at the coaching staff, you look at the front office, you look at the players. Changes will be coming to all three areas, in my opinion, at this belief of time, and it is necessary for the Phoenix Suns to see that through. And that gets to the next part. And what is ultimately next, right, ladies and gentlemen? What do I think is going to happen? What do you personally think is going to happen? Let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section. But I personally think that the Phoenix Suns will part ways with Kevin Durant, as they feel, even if by moving off Bradley Beal, that this duo with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker isn't going to be enough to dominate in the Western Conference. Now, I feel that it still can, and I think that if you sign Durant to a 2-year extension, you're able to trade off Bradley Beal. You can get some quality role players from some certain teams to actually put a decent roster around Durant and Booker. And yes, it may not be a top-tier team off the rip, off the start, but in a year or two, it could get back to that point of 2021. But if you do not want to wait to that, if you're the Phoenix Suns, if you feel that that's not the direction this team can go, then obviously you move off Kevin Durant and try to get some younger athletic pieces to pair around Devin Booker, because at 28 years old, Devin Booker in 2 to 3 seasons can still be a top-tier shooting guard like he is right now, playing alongside some rising stars that are going to continue to get better. I do believe that Brad will be shipped off this Phoenix Suns team, regardless if it's a trade, regardless if it's a buyout, if it's a stretch and wave. How the Phoenix Suns do it, they will get off of Bradley Beal's contract. It is this albatross of a contract has permanently put them in this dire situation of where they need to make a trade to get off of a bad contract. Kind of ironic how this was the case with the Phoenix Suns when they initially made the move for Bradley Beal, trying to trade away Chris Paul and Landry Shamet, two contracts that they felt weren't ready for their value of need, and now look back at it, Bradley Beal is a well worse contract in that regard. You look at Devin Booker, like I said, I do believe that he will stay with this Phoenix Suns team in this front office. He has made that known that he wants to stay in Phoenix. Matt Ishbia has made it known that he wants to keep Devin Booker at all costs. They will put a team around Devin Booker to win. And yes, it may not be a ready winning team next season, around the play-in, probably around this team, even if you do trade Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal next season, but in a year or two could be back into those conversations of being atop of the Western Conference, leading with another star and Devin Booker. You look at James Jones, I think he will be gone. I think a clean slate in the front office is necessary. A lot of people also look at Josh Bartelstein, someone who obviously kind of had some connections with getting Bradley Beal to Phoenix. A lot of people want him out as well, and I would not be shocked if he is also fired, but if he gets promoted to general manager in place of James Jones, then this could be some telltale signs once again for the Phoenix Suns and potentially heading into some disaster. And then obviously addressing the coaching situation, looking at Coach Budenholzer, I do believe the coaching carousel will continue once again for this Phoenix Suns team, as they will go out and look for their fourth head coach in 4 seasons. And not that that's great and using it as a scapegoat, but I do believe that Mike Budenholzer has had a better roster and has done worse with the roster that is presented in front of him, in a chance to actually put this Phoenix Suns team still on the map and really unleash some of these true potential of some of these players, as he's hindered that by obviously benching a lot of key guys that have made those impacts for the Suns as of late in this second-hand stretch. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I expect a full overhaul, a full new shipment of new faces in Phoenix, in the front office, in that coaching staff, and on this rotation as well, to make an impact, to bring back Phoenix Suns basketball, and to enlighten the fans as well as the players on playing the right way. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments and how you guys ultimately feel. Like I said, you guys have been absolutely fantastic in showing your support on the channel, so it's been super, super appreciated. We had that very, very fun and, really, really interesting live stream yesterday where we broke down everything on the Phoenix Suns. So if you're interested in that as well, we go live every Thursday on the channel, and we'll have some special guests as well. So make sure to stay tuned on everything revolving around the Phoenix Suns by hitting that subscribe button. I'm Bruce Velez, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns.